Hey Bandidos, if you want to play full time out of cover, be tanky, and have the fastest time to kill, then this build series is for you. In the last video, I gave you the 4 Juggernaut builds that get you as close to immortal as you can be in the Division 2. Today, we're going to expand on that with 4 more builds, each of which combine 3 of the most powerful features in this game to make you just as unstoppable as the Juggernauts, if not more. You will be able to take down elites and bosses in a single shot, chain kill, and take enormous amounts of damage without going down. These types of builds are used in legendary, heroic, solo, and group play, and they are helpful for farming XP. Hit like if unique and effective builds are for you, and comment Bulwark Bully down below to support the channel. Hey Bandidos, I have 4 Bulwark Bully builds for you today. These are different than the Juggernaut builds I provided in this video. The 4 builds I am sharing with you today will all be utilizing one of the strongest skills in the game, the Bulwark Shield. This means we will be centering on sidearms, which are very strong in the Division 2. And I admit, I wish I had discovered them earlier than I did. Armor regen, armor on kill, repair skills, weapon handling, and use of skills. These can all add to your survivability. And in the Bulwark Bully series, we're gonna be touching on all of these while preserving the ability to chain kill with a single shot. A Bulwark Bully build is more than just being heavily armored. It needs to be just as destructive as it is self-sustaining in heals. And it's these things that gives the build the impression of being immortal. Each of the 4 builds I'm sharing with you in this video offers something unique and offer different degrees of tankiness and sustainability on the Bulwark Bully build spectrum. I'm going to cover all the pros and cons of each Bulwark Bully build and discuss their levels of survivability and how true they play to the concept. But remember, the best one for you will ultimately be based on your playstyle and skill level. As a build requirement, all must use the Bulwark Shield as a contributor to its armor. And to be unstoppable, the builds must be able to access a larger pool of armor than just the shield and the base armor loaded on the build. These builds offer repair, regen, armor on the kill, or bonus armor to accomplish that. And all these builds rely on sidearms as their main weapon. Here are the weapons. I'm using the backup boomstick with close and personal for 30% more weapon damage. This can be acquired in the DZ or by named item caches. The Liberty Exotic can heal your shield, but also has a high base weapon damage, nice RPMs, and a good size mag. Of course, the Regulus, which has the highest base weapon damage of all the pistols. It doesn't have a damage talent, but blows up enemies on headshot kills and causes collateral damage. Great for spawn killing. You can only get this weapon by completing the quest tied to the Iron Horse raid. Joining our Discord gets you one step closer to that weapon. You can interchange any of these weapons on any of the builds you are going to see today. The Bulwark Shield will be featured on every build. Its value is that it's virtually indestructible. It can break in some extreme cases, but as long as you play your offense, you will be okay. All today's builds will be featuring Headhunter as the chess piece talent. This is one of the strongest talents in the game. With it, you can one-shot kill elites, bosses, and chain kill. Time to kill is survivability, right? Well, all these builds can kill with 1 bullet while loaded with armor. Every build will be using the Riot Foam for the other skill. You will learn today that Riot Foam with these types of builds is absolutely amazing. The 8 to 10 seconds base status effects is more than enough to get your 1 bullet kill. The foam also prevents enemies from flanking you and prevents a lot of the BS like the target doing circus cartwheels. Super annoying. All builds will be using the Memento Exotic backpack. The skill tier and skill efficiency are vital to make that foam useful throughout gameplay. The bonus armor and armor regen are also essential to your survivability since we are putting ourselves in positions to be completely surrounded by the enemy. The 30% weapon damage it gives can't be disabled by the enemy either. Nice bonus there. Lastly, all these builds are tuned for solo PvE heroic gameplay. Of course, all of my builds are templates and can be adjusted to your skill level and playstyle. If you want to use any of these builds in group, know you are already using some of the strongest pieces and weapons in the game. So usually you just need to balance out your armor to accommodate the content. Build 1 is built on 4 pieces Hunter's Fury. With this one, I am using the backup boomstick shotgun, at least to start, with close and personal. Be sure to have shotgun selected on your specialization skill tree. I am running technician for the skill tier. With the memento backpack, we now have 2 skill tiers. I have a protection from elites mod on the backpack. The chest piece is Providence with headhunter. I have headshot damage and weapon handling. We need Providence to help us get 150% headshot damage with our sidearm. That allows us to get the most out of the headhunter chest piece talent buff, which in turn gets us chain killing capabilities with the single shot. 4 pieces Hunter's Fury gives us shotgun damage, 20% armor on kill, 20% amp damage, 5% more amp damage on kill, stackable 5 times, and a status effect on kill that gives us more survivability. All the pieces are the same with headshot damage. Some have armor for a total of 1.5 million in total armor. You can add more, but this is a nice place to be. Look, close and personal gets us 30% weapon damage on kill. When we grab that memento trophy, we get 15% more weapon damage. That's 45% damage on kill total. Hunter's Fury gives us 5% more amp damage on kill on top of that. Crazy. On this build, the shield health starts at 13.4 million. We have 4 foam canisters holding at 7 seconds. 10 seconds with our 30 trophy stacks. You're getting 40% bonus armor on kill for 10 seconds. That's 600,000 per trophy. Hunter's Fury gives us another 300,000 on kill. So 1 kill equals 900,000 armor back effectively. And you have the 3% armor regen on top of that, which is about 45,000 armor per second. Of all of the builds in this series, this has the fullest package, and there is a lot of flexibility to tailor it to make it your own. You can add more armor or another skill tier and run sharpshooter to get your hands on the TAC 50. The double status effects is a nightmare for the enemy, but the disorient stagger effect can also get in your way. In fact, many times I wish it wasn't there. The riot foam stands enemies tall, making them easier to headshot kill. The disorient status effect causes them to bend over and up, which can cause you to miss and accidentally land a body shot. I find myself waiting for them to recover before I shoot to ensure I maintain my chain killing capabilities. Essentially, this slows me down a tad bit on each kill. The boomstick is crazy strong. I have a blast using it. It is very unique to be able to pair up a shotgun with the bulwark. But if a double barrel is not your thing, this build easily accepts the Liberty or the Regulus. I'm showing both weapons for you. I do like them both, but the Regulus I hold dearly. If I do decide to run the pistol, I tend to go ahead and run the D&H chest piece with the same talent, headhunter, and weapon handling and headshot damage. Hunter's Fury is one of the strongest gear sets in the game, and at close range, like we're playing, few builds can contend. That makes this build the pace setter of the series. If nothing else, at least try this one. Build 2 is built on 4 pieces of Tip of the Spear. I love this build. What's unique about this one is that it uses the TAC 50 specialization weapon to charge up the build's one-shot kill chain killing capabilities. Even at 1.7 million base armor, the 2.2 million base damage on the TAC 50 is enough to max out the headhunter chest piece talent buff with a single kill, where the other builds require 2 to 3 kills consecutively to get there. It also gives you reach up to about 90 meters, helping you save some time from running down an enemy. The gear set and the sharpshooter specialization are going to drop more ammo than you can use, as long as you're not missing too many shots with the TAC 50. I even use the TAC 50 at point blank ranges, thanks to the riot foam, which is super fun. Of course, we have the sharpshooter specialization, and I am running this with the Regulus. The Liberty is good too. Tip of Spear gets us 10% more signature weapon damage, 10% more weapon damage, and aggressive recon for 20% more total weapon damage for 60 seconds. You get more signature weapon ammo every 60 seconds too. Each gear set piece has the same armor and headshot damage on it. I'm running the Chain Killer chest piece with perfect headhunter. It's got headshot damage and handling on it. This doesn't have the 20% 30% armor on kill like Hunter's Fury, so this one I run a bit tankier with 1.7 million armor for more bonus armor from the Memento and a stronger armor regen. You can roll with less armor if you want. If you run with the Liberty, try adding one more weapon damage core if you feel you need it. The shield and Riot Foam will be maintaining the same values as you've seen before. This has 210% headshot damage with the pistol and 300% with the TAC-50. So when you kick off the fight, the first shot with the TAC-50 will activate the damage buff from Tip of Spear. The second shot will be the kill shot. As long as you use the TAC-50 once every 60 seconds or before the timer expires, you should be killing with a single round. In some cases, you might need to have a few Memento trophies stacked to be consistently one-shotting everything. This build is nice because it has a stronger TAC-50 than the others can have. And although you can run Sharpshooter for the TAC-50 on any of the builds, this one has a safety net with the more specialization ammo. The TAC-50 really is a cheat code for the Headhunter builds, and I recommend it on any of the versions in this series, but not at the cost of Riot Foam. Depending on how well you chain kill, 1 to 3 skill tiers might be necessary. The downside with this one is that it brings up another mechanic, the TAC-50. Once you have Headhunter, you don't need it and can keep chain killing everything without the buff from the gear set. But as soon as you duff a shot, you will wish you maintained the gear set buff by remembering to use the TAC-50 once per 60 seconds. I sometimes forget, but it's not annoying to use. I love using the TAC-50 and find it useful. Another downside is that it doesn't have the additional armor on kill Hunter's Fury had, or the additional status effect. But if you are effective with your chain killing, you won't miss either. You're going to be running around with ridiculous armor. Build 3 is built on 4 pieces of Eclipse protocol, and I must say is the most interesting of the series. With 1.3 million in armor, this is the least tankiest of the series as well. But what it lacks in armor defense, it gains in status effect crowd control defense, which is also an offense. Eclipse gives us 15% status effect, skill haste, hazard protection, and indirect transmission, which will spread the status effects on kill to all enemies within 10 meters and refresh 50% of the duration. All the pieces have headshot damage on them, and we have 2 skill tiers, 3 armor cores, and 3 weapon damage cores. You can use technician specialization for another skill tier, but since the gear set doesn't have added damage bonus, the TAC-50 from sharpshooter specialization is more handy, just like in the other build. I'm running the D&H chest piece on this one with Headhunter. You can also use the chain killer chest piece to help with the TAC-50 more instead. On this one, I am running the Regulus, and it is really a great matchup with this one because it also causes bleed, which is a status effect that can also spread. We have 200% headshot damage with the pistol and almost 300% with the TAC-50. We have less armor, so the Bulwark shield sits lower at 11.6 million base armor, but we have stronger foam and more duration, which sort of compensates. The advantage of this one is that even though we only have 2 skill tiers, the special abilities from Eclipse makes it feel like we have a lot more Riot Foam. Because this gear set doesn't offer that extra damage bonus, we had to compensate by adding more red cores, which means less blue cores, but the shield is still strong enough to protect us from everything, and the foam stops them from shooting and flanking. This build plays out very similar to the others, the same but different. The foam can feel more beneficial than the shield in many cases, and the indirect transmission has saved my butt more times than I can count. Besides the 30% bonus armor on kill, which is a bit over 400,000, this build has 3% armor regen to heal your base armor. That's sufficient. The downside is that if you get overwhelmed, you're not going to be able to take too much damage for too long because your recovery isn't as fast as some of the others. You might be wondering about the Eclipse backpack that gives you 30% amp damage to status affected targets. No doubt that is a handsome damage. The problem is that the Memento skill efficiency provides 30% skill haste and duration with a skill tier. If we lost the Memento, we would lose that and have to run another skill tier on the build at least. We'd end up losing the damage bonuses, all of our defense, and the skill efficiency. What ends up happening is that you run out of Riot Foam and you don't have enough damage. And if they aren't foamed, you don't get the backpack damage. The pros of this build is that It is balanced and has all the components to be effective. The downside is the rate of recovery is slower, making it less forgiving to incoming damage. It's also not going to scale as well for group play. Those who are fast on the foam and the trigger will have the most success with this build. If you're looking to be part of a strong, positive community, then I have you covered. Join Tux's Discord. We're not elitists, and we're so much more than just clans and raids. Tux's Discord continues to grow as the central hub for the player base that loves this game and wants to see it thrive. And if you love builds, this is the spot. Also, join Tux's Players Club to support the channel, the cause, while getting access to member perks and extra content like gaming music playlists. Click the join button below. Build 4 is built on 4 pieces Foundry. I'm going with Sharpshooter on this one, and both the Regulus and the Liberty are suitable. Foundry gives us 10% total armor, 1% armor regen, 50% shield health, and makeshift repairs to repair our shield and body by 20% damage taken over 15 seconds. This build has the highest armor of this series at 1.8 million. It also has the strongest shield at 14.7 million, and overall the best passive recovery with 4% armor regen and the makeshift repairs. And we get the 50% armor on kill in the form of bonus armor when we grab that memento trophy. Every gear set piece is the same. We have armor and headshot damage. The chest piece is D&H with headhunter, and all the mods are headshot damage. We have 205% headshot damage on the sidearm and almost 300% on the TAC 50. I'm only running one skill tier, but you can easily trade off an armor core for another. With this one, since we have so much bonus armor, I'm just using that to absorb damage instead of foaming as much as the others. Since Foundry is all defense with no added offense, you're going to need a few trophies under your belt before you will consistently chain kill. And the TAC 50 will not be mandatory, but more essential to efficiently getting to your max damage potential. You can easily trade an armor core for a damage core and not regret it. A lot of forgiveness on this one when it comes to taking damage. The downside is that it's going to be a little slower to get into your peak offensive performance. But once you're there, you are there. Another downside is that the TAC 50 is really helpful, and although there is ample ammo dropping, if you're not good with the TAC 50, you can actually run out of ammo. Not the end of the world, but it can slow you down. I rarely ran out of ammo myself. If I had to pick just one as my favorite, it's going to be the Hunter's Fury build. This build is the most flexible to different weapon types, has both the offense and defense we need for close range, and scales the best to group play. Let me know which build you're gonna make first. The 4 Juggernauts features assault rifle tank DPS builds with max armor and an effective time to kill that makes you unstoppable.
Follow me.